Appointment setting nowadays is becoming more and more and more important. With the amount of noise in the market right now, most sales reps are having trouble just having people show up onto the sales calls. All right. And that's because the appointment setting process is probably broken. And then on top of that, most setters are trained to just cold DM and just mass DM, 300 people a day without any understanding of how to take a prospect who's a total stranger and turning them into a qualified booked sales call for the closer to actually have the ability to close and actually have a good chance of closing. And that's what we're going to cover today. I'm going to give you guys a crash course on appointment setting, the mindset you need to have, whether you're setting yourself or you're building a team for one of your clients as a sales agency and you're training their setters. This is the mindset you need to have as an appointment setter to make sure the calls being booked on the closer's calendar are actually qualified. So subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good noise, and let's dive in. All right, so appointment setting is nothing but a discovery call. I'm going to give you a high-level breakdown of the mindset you need to have when you're talking to customers or your prospects. But your goal in a appointment setting call, or whether you're doing in DMs, is to discover whether or not the prospect has the problem, whether you or the company you're setting for can solve that problem, and move the prospect along the sales process where that prospect can actually have a deeper conversation. And this would be the sales call with someone to get help solving the problem you just discovered that they had. As the market gets more and more noisy and it gets more and more saturated with people who actually cannot provide real results for their clients, setting appointments is also getting tougher and tougher for businesses, especially when setters talk to their prospects. There isn't anything special about the conversation these mediocre setters are having that the prospect isn't having with 5 other companies, probably your competitors. So we can't do anything about the saturation and the noise, whatever. But what we can do is radically improve our appointment setting skills. So when the prospects do speak to a setter on our team or on one of our clients' teams, if you're building a sales agency, they can feel heard and actually want to schedule a call to find a possible solution to their problems. And the key with appointment setting is not volume. A lot of people feel like, the more conversations you have, the more appointments you can set. Some even hire like VAs to do appointment setting work, DM setting. Just send out 200, 300 cold messages a day, book them on a call, and let the closer handle the rest. And I don't believe that's the right way. Even on phone calls, like people say, just dial 300 people a day. That might work on like pickup rates, but what you're doing when the prospect actually picks up will determine your success as a setter or your team's success if you're handling a setting team. So the goal when it comes to appointment setting is simply your intent. All right, let me explain this in detail. For my internal team, as well as the team we're personally managing right now, the process is simple. Every prospect falls into one of these 3 categories: cold, warm, or hot. Every single prospect. And as you're having a conversation with them in DMs, email, messages, text, or on the phone, doesn't matter, they all fall in here. Cold stage. This is where the prospect has no idea who you are, what you're about, what you do, everything like that. They've never met you, never had a single engagement with any of your content online, and this is your first time speaking to them. In some cases, if you're getting leads through opt-ins or anything like that, they might have downloaded some free PDF from your company, but even those, they tend to forget. Right. If they don't forget, that means it's a warm lead. It's no longer a cold. This one's for the cold lead. Unfortunately, this is also the time the majority of appointment setters that I've seen, they just end up throwing their pitch out. And that's not the way. Your intent in this stage should be purely to spark a conversation. Imagine you go meet someone at a bar or at a restaurant or at a lounge. You're not going to start the conversation with what you're selling. Start a regular conversation, assuming you've got a targeted audience, which is a totally different topic. All we're trying to do here is establish a good back and forth, some good engagement. The warm stage, this is from the cold. If you start getting a back and forth, you move the prospect to the warm stage, whether it's on the phone or in the messages. The next stage you move the prospect to is the warm stage. This is where now they're having an engaging conversation with you. They're telling you about their pain or their desire, their current situation, their desired situation, what they've tried to fix their problems, etc. This is the discovery part of the appointment setting process. Again, majority of your CRM or your leads should be in this stage. Majority of the people that you're talking to should end up in the warm stage. And the key here is asking good, thought-provoking questions, not basic shit, not copy and paste, not reading off of a script. Again, another different topic, how to do discovery. And every question is built off of what your prospect response to the last question was, like an actual conversation. And then the last phase is the hot phase. This is the final stage when you're ready to propose a call. This is where they've given you all the information, current state, desired state, what they feel like they're missing, what their pain is, what they've previously tried to solve that pain, and where they'd ideally like to be. All you have to do here is non-intrusively ask them if they'd be okay to hop on a 15, 30, 45-minute call, depending on what type of sales process you're running within your company or your team and how you can help. That's it. And when it comes to follow-up, this is the last part. You should be following up with all your hot leads every single day until they either tell you to F off or they at least book a call. All right. Our golden rule is 7 days straight, hit them up every single day, then every other day, and then you can move them off the hot stage into the warm stage. And again, there's a lot of other nuances go into it, but this is more or less giving you an idea of the different buckets, quote unquote, that we put prospects in and what appointment setting should be treated as. It should be treated as a discovery call, and that is your intent. Your intent throughout the entire call, if it's cold, is to spark a conversation. If it's warm, is to get the pain, the desire, the gap. If it's hot, it's time to book a call. All right, and that's it for this one. Hopefully, you got a little bit of value out of this, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.